Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Are you planning to visit Europe sometime soon? Well, surprise surprise, you need a Schengen visa. Getting a Schengen visa these days have been very difficult. There has been a lot of complaints about delays, rejections and whatnot. But I was lucky enough to get the Schengen visa granted in just a matter of 7 days. How did I do it? Was it only luck? Well, while luck is very important, there are a few things that you should keep in your mind while submitting an application for the Schengen visas. You should format your documents properly, work on them neatly, and when you apply for them without any mistakes on your part, the chances are that you will get your visa granted really quickly. So in today's video, I will be sharing some important tips and points that I realized while I was applying for the Schengen visa. I will tell you the documents that I prepared, how I prepared them, and what I think would be the most optimal way in which you can apply for a Schengen visa and also get it really quick. So without any further ado, let's get started. So first of all, you need to apply online for your visa. You can visit the website that you can see down here, and once you go to this website, you will be guided in a very systematic way in which you can fill out the form, enter all your details, make sure to be honest and enter all your details correctly, recheck them. Once you're done with filling out the form, you can hit on the submit button and boom, your online application is done. You will get a copy of your filled application sent to your email, which you can download and print it out. You will need to sign and put your picture over there in that particular document. Now once that is done, what you have to do is go and book an appointment on the VFS Global website. Once you navigate to their website, you will find that there are some dates in which they are taking bookings and there are certain time slots. Pick up one of them as it suits you, and that's done on your part for getting ready with your application and getting ready to visit the VFS Global office for submitting your documents. Now let's talk about the documents that you need to apply for a Schengen visa. First and foremost, you need your travel document, that is your passport. So keep in mind that your passport should not be issued more than 10 years ago. It should be issued in less than a period of 10 years. At the same time, it should be valid for 3 months more than the expiry date of the visa that you are applying for. Or in simple words, it should be valid for 3 months more than your planned tour to that foreign country. While you are submitting your passport, you should also remember to submit one photocopy of your passport. And not only that, you must also remember to submit the photocopies of any previous Schengen visa that you had, and also any previous US visa that you have in your passport, along with the stamps of immigration and emigration in your passport. Now coming to the next document, the cover letter. This is arguably the most important document that you need to submit while applying for any visa out there, especially the Schengen visa. Now the purpose of a cover letter is to help you convince the people out there who are dealing with your visa, to convince them that your purpose of visiting their country is genuine. So if you want to know how I wrote my cover letter for this particular visa application, that I will make a separate video on it where I will dive deep in detail and explain to you what were the important points that I included, what were the points that I avoided, and finally what was the structure of this particular cover letter. Now moving on to the next important document, it's your invitation letter. Now I understand that getting an invitation letter is easier when you go on a business travel or a scientific travel such as a conference, because the organization issues an invitation letter to you. But even if you are going for tourism purposes, you can get invitation letter from a lot of tourism agencies and organizations out there. So you can contact them online and get an invitation letter for you. Once that is done, the next documents that you need to have or need to show them or submit there is your itinerary and your airplane tickets. Now the itinerary needs to be a little detailed. You don't have to state everything accurately, and you don't have to go into such details that where are you eating or when are you waking up. That's not necessary. All you have to do is just mention on which dates you are indulging in what sort of activities, where are you staying, and on which days you are moving from one city to another. That's what they're interested about. Also, you don't have to be finalized with your itinerary already. You can change it on the course as you go. So just give them a rough idea of what your tour is going to look like, what are you going to do throughout the days that you are going to spend there in their country, and where are you going to stay. That's an important point. Talking about your airplane tickets, you should have both the outbound as well as the return tickets done, paid in full, confirmed, because that will show that you are not intending to stay there indefinitely, but you are definitely going to come back to your originating destination. Alright, so now let's talk about document number 6. It's the proof of your employment or admission to a school or university wherever you are studying right now. That just shows that you are officially engaged in a particular organization. That can be a university or a school, and you have ties with some or the other official organization in your home country, and you will return back to carry forward the journey in which you are already enrolled in. Number 7, and this is a very important document that you should have and should produce. It's the proof of funds that you have in your account. You should show them that you have enough money to sustain yourself throughout the journey and also when you are staying in that particular country. So for that, you need a bank statement for the past 3 months showing that you have enough funds in your account. Always remember, it's not a good idea to get funds just a few days before submitting an application for the visa. It shows that you're desperate to reach a particular amount of money in your account and to show them that yeah, you are having enough funds. What I recommend you is to take money and deposit it in your account 3 or 4 months in advance, so that the day in which you submit an application to the visa office, it doesn't look like you just got a lump sum of money in your account just the day before that or even a week before that. So always keep in mind that you should not look desperate to prove them you are eligible to get a visa. Besides the bank statement, you will also need your income tax return statements. That is easily available online nowadays. You can also talk to any agent and get it done. Well, I understand some students or maybe some people are not eligible for income tax returns and they have not paid any income tax in their life. Well, that's completely fine. What you need to do is still get one of those income tax return statements downloaded from the internet, which shows that you haven't paid any income tax whatsoever in the previous financial year. That is fine. That just shows that you are not eligible to pay your income tax, but you're ready to do it whenever you become eligible, and that is quite convincing enough. Now, talking about money, sometimes it can happen that you are not paying for yourself in this particular trip. You don't have that much of money or somebody else is sponsoring you. Now, this sponsor can be a family member, can be your parent, can be an organization, can be your university. So what you need to do here is to get a sponsorship letter from that person or from that organization stating that they have taken up the responsibility to pay for your expenses. It's always a good idea to write that they have paid already in advance for your tickets, for your accommodation, etc. willingly, and also they are ready to pay for your expenses, be it for recreation or travel or food or whatever is it, and they are also equally enthusiastic about your trip and they are fully aware that what are you going to do in that particular country and why are you visiting that country, in short. Now, when you submit this sponsorship letter, you also need to provide some supporting documents. Now, one supporting document that you need to provide them is the identification document of the person who is sponsoring you. So for example, in my case, it was my father who was sponsoring me. So I had to submit an identification document in the form of the Aadhaar card of my dad. Apart from that, I also had to submit 3 months bank statement for his account. Now he has 2 accounts which are different, so I had to submit the bank statement for both of those accounts. And finally, I had also to submit the income tax return for my dad for his previous financial year to show that he is a genuine tax-paying citizen of India. So we have now reached towards the end of all the documents that are required, the penultimate document that you need is the proof of your accommodation in the country where you're going to stay. So it can be the hotel reservation documents, or it can be an Airbnb proof. So you can just produce them, and I think that will be enough. Make sure that it states that you have paid in advance, or you're going to pay once you reach there, maybe. Now there's an alternative to this sort of a document. You can also do this, that you don't have a reservation for your accommodation yet. So what you need to do is you have to show them that you have more than 120 euros per day in your account for affording a place to live in when you go to their country. So if you are traveling for 7 days, then you need to have 120 euros multiplied by 7 in your account for showing them that yeah, you can get a place to live in while you are in their country. So that's an alternative to having a pre-booked accommodation with you, and that works. So the document number 10, and it's the last document that you need to have, and that's a travel health insurance. Now you can get the travel health insurance online. There are many private organizations that offer this travel health insurance. There's a Reliance one, there's an Aditya Birla one. Now interestingly, when you book your appointment through VFS Global on their website, they also offer you certain health insurance options, and in my personal experience, all of these options are really good. They are not massively overpriced, and they are quite reasonable, and they cover all the necessary points that is mandatory for getting a visa. So I think it's always a safer option to avail one of those. But at the same time, other private organizations, as I said, Reliance and Aditya Birla, also have pretty decent health insurance options, and you can opt for any one of them that suits your pocket. So that brings us to the end of all the documents that is required for applying for a Schengen visa. In the end, I just want to tell you that this is a negotiation. This is a convincing procedure that you need to do. They are more than willing to offer a Schengen visa to any individual whom they think that they are going for a genuine purpose. They will go there, maybe it's for tourism, maybe it's for a conference or a business meet. And once they're done with their purpose, they will return back to their own country of origin because they have a life. So if you're able to convince the officials your cause, if you are able to satisfy them with your words and with your documents, then it's more than likely that you will get your visa granted, and that too really quickly. So in the end, I would just advise you to be very polite and patient with your application process. And if you have any more questions or any more doubts, feel free to put them in the comments below, and I will take them up and try my level best to answer them whenever I can. So that's all that I had for all of you today. Make sure to stay connected with me on my social media handles. You can find them linked in the description box below, and I will see you guys really soon. Till then, stay happy and stay healthy.